to keep warm and relax in between the dives.
Bruce Kimball, who has been on the scene for the last 5 years, he won the bronze at the World Championships in Guayaquil 4 years ago.
That was great. Kimball has been Mr. Consistent. That's his father, who's also his coach, who was my coach back in the '76 Olympics.
Dick Kimball, he's the coach at the University of Michigan. Another look at Bruce Kimball.
This is still one of the easy dives. It's 1.5 somersaults with 1 twist and a perfect finish. Bruce has been Mr. Consistent in diving. He doesn't usually get 9s and 10s, but he hardly ever misses.
There he is with Dad going over the scores. He always knows. From the United States, he's moved up now to 2nd after 4 dives. Concerned Dad looking on. You know, I consider Bruce's comeback story one of the greatest comeback stories in all of sport.
In diving, he's known as the comeback kid after that automobile accident in 1981. And that was another good dive. Dad's happy with that one.
In that car accident, he broke every bone in his face, fractured his skull, broke his leg. His weight dropped from 140 to 100 pounds. It's amazing he's still alive, much less diving. And even more amazing, he came back that year within 7 months and was diving again, on his way to a bronze medal the next year at the World Championships.
You know, and 1 month after that, he beat Greg Louganis at our national championships.
Bruce Kimball.
Bruce Kimball would have to do a dive for scores about a point higher to stay even.
Example here, he's trying a dive, degree of difficulty 2.6.
So he'll have to get scores here of 7.5.
Phil, he's using the side of the platform here. He's not taking off from the middle.
Well, this is just divers' preference. Whatever they feel is the best for them getting a grip on the platform. Bruce has got a great handstand, very steady. Another good dive, but you could see he rotated very slowly and was straight in, but he didn't get that rip entry. You can see a little kip off the platform. That's that almost springing off your hands. A lot of splash, and they'll take off some for that.
Another look at Bruce Kimball. And the marks for Kimball, not his best, ranging from 6.5 to 8. Bruce Kimball of Ann Arbor, Michigan. He's back to 4th place now through 6 dives.
This is a low degree of difficulty dive. He must get scores at least a point higher than the other divers just to stay even. Oh, that was great. That was the perfect entry. Absolutely no splash. Remember I said he needed like 8 to 8.5 to stay even. He should outscore them with this one. Now you'll see Greg Louganis do 3.5 somersaults in this direction later, but this is perfect on 2.5.
8.5 to 9.5 for Kimball.
Well, I agree. His dad said and his coach said, you can't do it any better than that, and I don't see how they took off what they did. Easier dives has paid off for Kimball because he's been able to do them very well each time. Now we saw earlier Lee Kong Cheng do back 3.5 somersaults. Kimball is doing back 2.5 somersaults.
At the Olympics in '84, he came from behind to beat Lee Kong Cheng, and also Tong Wei beat him out for the silver medal. Door is open now for Kimball.
Oh, another great dive. He's stepping into the doorway, that's for sure.
Another perfect entry also.
But that's what he's been known for, having great entries. You can see he doesn't somersault very fast and finishes just above the water, but a perfect entry. He falls back a little bit far from the platform, but perfect entry.
8 5s and 9s for Kimball.
You can see his dad's coaching him for the next dive already.
So Bruce Kimball has now moved up to 3rd place. He just keeps moving along, not missing any dives, getting his 8s and 9s. The occasionally a 9. Usually in the 7.5 to 8.5 range.
Now, we saw the last two divers do inward 3 1/2 somersaults. Again, Kimball's doing an inward 2 1/2 somersaults. Oh, I hesitate because it was a very good dive, but he had a lot of splash on the entry. He must have missed his hands on the entry. You need to grab them to get that great entry that he's noted for. But you can watch, he's perfectly straight up and down. That part of the dive is great. But a lot of splash, so it drops it back into the barely good category. Should get about 7 1/2.
7 to 8 for Bruce Kimball.
And you can see his
big dive here. Third entering the final round. He's trailing Li Kongshank for the silver.
And he saved his most difficult dive for last. 3.2 degree of difficulty, and he does it well. Excellent.
Well, he's certainly locked up at least the bronze here, and he's put the pressure on Li Kongshank. Your thoughts on the scores?
I thought they were about right. He was just a fraction short of vertical, but it was a great dive and a great finish. 8, 8 1/2 is what you'd expect.
Congratulations from teammates Mark Bradshaw and Kelly McCoy.